I have a lot of breaking news to cover, everybody, surrounding the fourth stimulus check, so you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video. So the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is now rejecting a call for Democrats to hit pause on President Biden's spending plan, indicating that they are sticking to an ambitious timeline. Schumer told reporters during a conference call on Wednesday that we are moving full speed ahead. We want to keep going forward, and we think getting this done is so important.
We owe it to our children to pass on a planet in a very responsible way. The reconciliation bill goes well beyond, well, it's hardly addressed in the infrastructure bill for reasons that you're well aware. But in this reconciliation bill, we recognize.
Chuck Schumer also said this, everybody. Chuck Schumer's remarks comes after John Manchin urged his colleagues to hit pause on Biden's $3.5 trillion plan, which is at the heart of Democrats' economic and legislative agenda.
I think this whole process doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Look, you got needs out there. Should we invest heavily in rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, roads, bridges, water? Huge problem.
Some Democrats want to pass out more stimulus checks, and some Democrats in Congress folks do not. So, tell me in the comments below, will Senator Chuck Schumer be able to send out more stimulus payments? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Bernie Sanders, for example, has indicated that the bill has to be at least $3.5 trillion.
Get the 50 votes plus the vice president that we need. Again, there are 50 members of the Democratic caucus. Some felt it very important to, for whatever reason, to show the world that they can work with Republicans, and that's what this process is about. So I think by and large, and we haven't seen the fine print of this legislation.
As I said in my previous video, folks, Bernie Sanders is one of the only politicians looking out for the American people. It seems to me that he wants to send out more relief and more stimulus checks than anybody else in Congress. Do you support Bernie Sanders, everybody, in his push for more stimulus checks?
In the middle of a time when senior poverty is increasing, Republicans and some Democrats came up with a brilliant idea.
Now, the 96-strong Progressive Caucus is split about whether to push for an extension of the unemployment benefits in the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation. Now, with their extremely narrow majorities in Congress and the House, deviation from the mainline Democrat course could imperil huge Democrat legislation. The slim majorities mean smaller groups, like the right of the Democratic Party, hold much more power than they otherwise would. Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema made sure that their wishes were acknowledged when it came to introducing a $15 minimum wage, and progressives' moves against their wishes would stop any laws in their tracks. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told several news sources that what we have right now is that the Biden administration has indicated that they have almost no willingness to extend the unemployment assistance program. We have a Senate that does not want to do we have a Senate that doesn't want to do it, a White House that doesn't want to do it, and it's going to take a very committed House. Ilhan Omar also said that it was necessary to extend the unemployment benefits. So will the unemployment benefits be extended, folks? Tell me in the comments below. In a little over a week, the September child tax credit check will be sent to millions of eligible families. But after this month, parents will only have 3 checks left in 2021. The big difference from this year's prior is that parents with qualifying dependents are getting half of the total in monthly checks, instead of one lump sum during tax time every month between July and December. The other half of the money will come during tax time. Fortunately, there's a collection of online tools that parents can use to manage the payments. And after receiving whatever payments the IRS sends you this year, the remainder of your money will come with your tax return in 2022, after you file your tax return next tax season. Now, during a West Virginia Chamber of Commerce event, Joe Manchin said that Democrats should slow down, pointing to concerns about the debt and inflation. Manchin also wrote, instead of rushing to spend trillions of dollars on new government programs, Congress should hit a strategic pause on the budget reconciliation legislation. A pause is warranted because it will provide more clarity on the trajectory of the crisis, and it will allow us to determine whether inflation is transitory or not. But still, congressional Democratic leaders have laid an ambitious timeline to get Biden's spending bill to his desk. Schumer has set a September 15th deadline for roughly a dozen congressional committees to be finished drafting their portions of the $3.5 trillion bill. Guys, tell me in the comments below, do you believe that President Biden is going to send out more stimulus payments before the end of 2021? Tell me in the comments. But House Democrats are also expected to take up the Senate-passed $1 trillion bill by September 27th, under a deal crafted by the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and key moderates. But because progressives are warning that they will not support the Senate bill without the reconciliation package, it puts pressure on Democrats to also have the $3.5 trillion plan ready for a vote. In order to get the bill through the Senate, Chuck Schumer is going to need total unity from all 50 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus, giving Manchin leverage to make demands for changes to the party strategy. Manchin did not specify how long he thinks his party should hit pause, but he has also taken up issue with the $3.5 trillion top line figure. Joe Manchin says that he cannot support the price tag. Is Joe Manchin holding back our stimulus payments, folks? Tell me in the comments below. But any push to go lower than $3.5 trillion would spark fierce debate among progressives.
Well, thank you, Governor Hochul, Senator Gillibrand, and all my great colleagues. We are working all three levels of government. And why it's such a large, impressive anomaly of people get here. Because this man came. This man right here came with, thank you, without anyone having to hock him, or that's a Brooklyn word, or bother him to come. So, Mr. President, it is my distinct honor to welcome you to Queens, a bustling borough of over 2 million New Yorkers with staggering diversity and infinite talent, equal parts passion and compassion. Where's Donovan? There he is. Now, you being here today, Mr. President, is a hallmark of your hands-on presidency. Not just sitting in Washington, but seeing and hearing people's trouble, and then acting decisively to help, not the least of which is by promptly approving a major disaster declaration, quicker than any president has ever done. And we are so, so grateful. Now, perhaps nowhere else reflects the diversity of New York and our nation than Queens, where hundreds of languages, hundreds, are spoken every single day. From Archie Bunker to LL Cool J to Aquafina. Queens literally has it all. Not to mention some of the best arepas, Vindaloo, Moussaka, Carbonara, and Guinness on the planet. As a congressman, my district included parts of Queens. We have LL Cool J. Calm down. As a congressman, my district included parts of Queens, so this community is near and dear to my heart. And it pains us so to see and witness the loss of life and property. It pains us deeply to read the stories of neighbors we lost in the storm. Mr. President, less than 2 miles from where we're standing,